Hello, this is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and today we are in my kitchen. This is Eclectic Alchemy, and welcome. If you're a subscriber, thank you for being here. If you're new to my channel, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share some information with you. And if you are so inclined, please hit like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. So, as part of Eclectic Alchemy, I do a lot of things, mainly law of attraction and how to manifest the life you want. But I also do some cooking and gardening and sewing and some other things, and I want to share with you this information. Now, many YouTube creators are doing it mainly to generate some income, which I would love to do. But my main purpose, really, is to share information, but to have a legacy for my grandchildren, so that they can see who I am and what I talk about, and maybe even learn a few things along the way as they learn about their grandmother, hopefully grandmother, and maybe even great-great-great-great-grandmother, depending on how long this medium lasts. So once a week on Saturday, I am part of a Zoom group, and we talk about different things. And yesterday, today is Sunday, yesterday we were talking about food. And well, one of the people that's part of our group is from England. She lives here in the United States, but she went back to England for 6 months. And we were talking about different things, and the topic of scones came up. And I've never made scones. So I went to my baking cookbooks, my bread cookbooks, and I've got like 6 or 7 of them, encyclopedia of baking and all kinds of things. And none of them had scones. Several of them had English muffins, but none had scones. And I finally found one. This one I'm putting up a picture of. I found that one, and it had a scone recipe, but it had you pan fry it, and it was like, I don't know about that. But this one, I finally said, let me go to the Joy of Cooking. So many of you know about the Joy of Cooking cookbook. So we're in the Joy of Cooking cookbook. We're learning about scones. It's perfect for those of you who know I am single. My daughter lives with me, but she cooks her own stuff. But we share. So this morning I asked her scones or donuts. She said scones. So we are making scones today. And what you see inside this bowl is 1 3/4 cups of sifted flour. What I was getting ready to say, it only makes 12 scones, so it's perfect for my household. And then I need 2 1/4 teaspoons of double-acting baking powder. So 2 1/4. So here's 1. Oops. That's a little bit more. Made a mistake, but that's on camera and it's in my flour, so we're going to deal with it. And 1/4 teaspoon. It will be more than enough to make it rise. Okay? And this baking powder isn't that old, so we're pretty good. So 2 1/4 teaspoons of double-acting baking powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar. And I use cane sugar, castor sugar, not castor, but cane sugar, the brown stuff, right? So, 1 tablespoon. You know, one time I was baking and I put too much in, and sometimes I put not enough. So this one, hopefully this will be just enough. Alright, and I need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I have Himalayan sea salt. This is 1/2 teaspoon. Sprinkle that all in. So 1/2 teaspoon. So we've got 1 3/4 cups of flour, 2 1/4 teaspoons of double-acting baking powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And as you see, I am mixing these all together like so. The next thing is a 1/4 cup of cold butter. And why is it cold butter? And I've already sliced the butter up. All right, I sliced it into small pieces. And I put it in here. And the reason you want it cold, and you're going to put it in like that, is because we don't want the butter melted, because what happens is with the butter being cut into the flour, and if you're making biscuits, you wind up doing it this way. If you're not doing the 2-ingredient biscuits and you're cutting into butter or shortening. And this is a pastry cutter, and sometimes it gets stuck in there, but you just keep breaking it up until your flour looks a little bit like cornmeal. I think this is cut in quite a bit. Now, I'm going to make a well or hole in the middle of this. This is 3/4 cup of half and half. It calls for cream, but I have half and half. So I put in 3/4 cup of half and half, and I'm going to mix in the egg. That's 2 eggs. And I need to reserve 2 tablespoons of this mixture and then add the rest in. So I've mixed those eggs pretty good. It's like you're going to make scrambled eggs. I'm going to take 2 tablespoons, like it told me, and put it back into the bowl that I had put the eggs in. I always put the eggs in a separate bowl, and the reason I do that is because, okay, I'm going to pour this in, and I'm going to turn around and do just like I do for when I'm making bread. Put this over here. I'm going to turn around and use the end of my spoon to do the mix. Now, if you wanted to pull out your mixer and do this, you can. Alright, so now I'm going to dampen my hands just a little bit, and I am going to mix up these scones. Alright. I don't want to use my hands too much because it might cause the butter to melt, and I don't want that to happen. Because what happens is when it's cooking, the butter helps make those little holes in there, and it has those little bursts of flavor. Alright, take this bowl over here. Pull out. Have it handy. Take a little flour. And what it says is, handle the dough as little as possible. Place it on a lightly floured bowl. Pat until 3/4 of an inch thick. Cut with a knife into diamond shapes or biscuit sticks, and brush with the reserved egg. So we're going to bake these at 450 degrees. Alright. It says pat, but you could use a rolling pin if you desired. I'm going to make this into a square. Now it says in the diamonds or sticks. move that up a little bit so you can see for real. Alright, now I can kind of do like this and then like this and make diamonds. However, some will be one size. I can see the butter pieces. Some will be one size and some will be something else. It says you can make biscuit sticks. Well, I'm going to cut it like this. Alright, didn't quite measure it off right into a third. Only way I could do that is if I turned around and used the measuring tape. Oh, and it's still a little curved because it's not quite. Yes. So when I go to pastry school, finish school, I went to enroll, but this semester there isn't anything. I had this one prerequisite that I didn't get to do last year, or 2020, in 2020. And then when I went to enroll in the fall this year, they weren't offering it, and they're not offering it this spring. So I'm putting them. Okay, so I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are probably bigger than what they called for, because they said it makes 12. So I probably made these a little larger than what they have. But they're cute shapes. Pie shape, square. Okay, now get a brush out. I'm going to, it says cut sticks, brush with the reserve egg, and sprinkle with salt or sugar. I think I'm going to sprinkle it with sugar, because this we're going to use like with jelly. Alright, so to the lot. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 6. 6 with sugar. And these 3. Get my salt. I don't want to do too much, because this has big holes, and if I bring it out too much, it'll be alright. So I've got 2, 4, 6 with sugar on top, and 3 with salt. Now, because I spilled the sugar on the silicone pad, I have some parchment paper available. Because if I put it in the oven, you know what's going to happen. That sugar will cook on that silicone pad. So as you can see, I've got several with sugar and 3 with salt. Now putting this in the oven at 450 degrees for approximately 15 minutes until they're brown. And then I'll be back. Here we've got, this is the salt, this is the salt, and this is the salt, and the other ones are the sugar. See the difference in the tops? You can see the sugar and the glisten on it, but the salt ones don't. Okay, so let me take the one. It's actually the smallest. This is early in the day, and I don't normally eat this early, but we're going to break it open. All right, and look how nice and fluffy. It kind of reminds me of biscuits. Probably is, like, you know, this is the English version of a biscuit, right? Because we use baking powder and all the things for biscuits. And I'm going to do the top that has the sugar on it. So put some butter on it. Now, what I've read, and I don't have any, I'm going to go online and see how to make it, but it's clotted cream. They said it's similar to cream cheese. Clotted cream, and they said raspberry jam, or I'd use blackberry or grape jelly. Alright, so I'm going to take that little piece with the butter. Wait a minute. Before I even got it to my mouth, and I had the piece with the sugar on it, it must have hit my tongue, and it was like an explosion of flavor for me. I know my mouth is full. So, I know if I add some cream, I got some mascarpone in there. That's another form of cream cheese, and I got some cream cheese in the refrigerator. This is awesome. The dough is a little sweet, and then with the sugar on top, well, I might wind up making these more often than making biscuits. They're just as easy to make as biscuits, and they taste awesome. You've got to try this recipe. The recipe is in the description below. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness. Thank you for being with me today. Please subscribe, hit the bell, and press like. And then I'll have a video up in the corner up here somewhere of another cooking video I've done. I don't know which one I'm going to pick yet, but it's another video, and I'd appreciate it if you'd watch it. Thank you, and as you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so, and I will see you in the next video.